Welcome to our webinar. We're so excited to have you guys here. We're Mayan, if you haven't known us already, and we're here with Osama and Stella Rocket as well. We're very excited to have our speakers do a quick deep dive into how you can start prepping for a successful holiday season and a Q4. So very briefly, this is our agenda for today. We will be covering a variety of topics that are really relevant for your planning for Q4. So be sure to stay tuned till the very end. And we will also have a quick Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please just make sure to add those into our Q&A box right here in our console. If you're new and you haven't been to or attended one of our webinars before, here's a quick overview of what you're seeing right now. So you can see our question box where you can ask our panelists a question. You can chat with your fellow audience members in our chat. And then you have some quick buttons that might help you. You can book a call with our experts, and you can claim your free advertising audit, which we will dive into at the very end, just so you know how that can help your Amazon business. And you can also meet our speakers and get their contact info on there as well. If you're also looking to launch a new product soon, then we really want to share our newest ebook that we worked with in collaboration with 8Fig, Gemba, and Goldstein Patent Law. We dive deep into how you can build out a great strategy for a new product launch and how you can protect your products. So make sure to scan that QR code there, and you will also get a pop-up window at the very end of our webinar so you can download the ebook as well. And then we want to get to know you. So let us know, drop into the chat, where are you from, your name, how long have you been selling with Amazon? We really like to get to know you, and our speakers would like to get to know you as well. And just a quick intro into who Mayan is. So Mayan is the only inventory and PPC optimization platform that is built by MIT data scientists. And our customer success managers are proven Amazon experts like Phil right here. And so this combination of technology and expertise is driving unrivaled FBA growth and revenue for our customers. We're also backed by Y Combinator, so you can definitely trust our business. And then just introduce you guys to our speakers. So we have Phil Duong here at Mayan. Then you have Rachel Johnson from Osama and Chris Wisman from Stellar Rocket. So Phil is an account manager here at Mayan. He started and scaled his 7-figure food brand Amazon business in just 3 years. And then his company was acquired by WarpFi. And he now helps other sellers realize their potential here at Mayan. Rachel is a global Amazon marketplace strategist, and she has funded multiple 6- and 7-figure companies in under 3 years. She's now also an advisor to Mayan, and she helps entrepreneurs increase product sales, their brand images, and avoid legal threats. And Chris is the general manager at Seller Rocket. He has more than 10 years of experience in sales and client services, and he helps empower brands to connect with publishers to get features in commerce content. So they're all masters in their element. And then let's just start. Phil, you can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for the intro, Babs, and thanks for everyone joining in. I appreciate you guys giving us the time. So I'll go ahead and talk about kind of why we want to prep for this holiday season and why right now is a good time to do so. As you know, or if you don't know, there's a fall Prime Day that's coming up in October. And right now we have seen every single deal and Prime Day that has come on Amazon, a record has been broken. So we expect this trend to keep on going. And as you all know, probably Amazon is the largest e-commerce retailer. And that's why we want to kind of get ahead of the game here. And kind of talking about why we want to even get ahead of Black Friday is that this is a really good time to capture a large audience and kind of get the market for people who like to make impulsive buying decisions. I'm kind of one of those people. I tend to purchase a lot of products whenever there's a sale going on. So I highly recommend that this is kind of a time where you should really look into, getting ahead of the Black Friday, and setting up Prime Day deals. So a lot of the questions I do get asked is, where are we going to be in this Prime Day, especially with the economic environment? And the best thing I can say is, to create the best strategy possible and being prepared for any type of situation. And the e-commerce market is such a large market; it's still growing. And if there's ever opportunity that is happening, you don't want to miss it. And with this being said, and the Prime Day trajectories, I would highly recommend that you kind of get ahead of the game and get your inventory prepped. So, why we're doing this presentation, and what is the big so what? The holiday of 2023 is just going to be a really great opportunity to continue to grow your Amazon business. And discounts during this time can really get you the brand awareness that you need and the reviews to grow your business. It's a really good time to kind of even get a head start in terms of strategies that could work into Black Friday. And that's why we highly recommend to create a discount during this time to kind of test the waters and leverage the high increase in search volume. So if you don't have a unique strategy for the holidays, you're not going to see the same impact for your business. And I kind of want to dive into a case study with a client of ours. And this was a client that joined us in 2022. And you can see that there's a huge increase in their sales growth, over 200% in the year of 2022 compared to 2021. And this was primarily just creating a 20% discount on one of their items. So I highly recommend and reiterate that we do want to prepare for the fall Prime Day. And kind of looking into how and when should you start getting prepared, the short answer is now. You need to start preparing now if you haven't already. Right now is the perfect time to get all of your inventory set to Amazon FBA centers. And that's because there is always a backlog of product that gets sent last minute. And you don't want to be one of the people that unfortunately doesn't get their inventory to FBA in time. So we recommend to send that in now, as well as getting your strategy placed for your discounts. Because exclusive Prime discounts are available to create, but what needs to be approved ahead of time is lightning deals that are exclusive for Prime Day. So that's something to really keep an eye out for. And I'm going to skip through these two slides. So for your advertising strategy, like I said before, we really want to launch before Black Friday by leveraging the fall Prime Day. And this is because people are more often to buy more products with fewer reviews. So if you are looking to start a product launch, I recommend this would be a good time to do so. Customers are willing to spend more money at this time, and competitors go out of stock. And during this time, we also really want to avoid a capped budget. There are a lot of ways we can do this by decreasing the bids within your campaigns, but ultimately increasing the budget within those campaigns will help you. We tend to see that CPCs are actually decreasing in the afternoon to evening, and that's because everyone's campaigns actually run out of budget. So generally in the morning, you'll see your CPCs are higher, you're gonna have more competition, and that's why we want to make sure you're not missing out on any opportunities, especially when there's less competition in the evening. So we highly recommend having a more extended budget for these high search volume days where we can see 2 to 3 times more search volume. The next thing I want to kind of go over is bidding on branded keywords. I know some people tend to not want to bid on their own brand because they think that, you know, if someone searches them up, like they're already going to get the conversion. But the mistake being made with that strategy is that other people can bid on your branded keywords. And you don't want someone bidding on your brand, showing up in front of you, and then clicking on a different brand instead of yours. So ultimately, we highly recommend to always run branded keywords to make sure that your territory is safe and people aren't stealing your market share. And the reason why we also want to avoid bidding on holiday related keywords is that they can tend to be very costly. There's a ton of people bidding on these general search terms, and likely the search terms that we've seen, CPCs are very high. So we really recommend that you bid towards more relevant keywords that make sense for your product instead of bidding on something like best Mother's Day gift item. Things like that is just going to be wasteful spend, and you want to be more specific. Another way you can kind of fine-tune your strategy is looking at brand analytics. So if you do have your own brand, you can see what were the most searched terms. And then you can also see your top keywords and what impression share you have for your product. So this is a really powerful tool that is provided to us by Amazon, and we highly recommend leveraging brand analytics. So to reiterate on kind of a brand defense strategy, this is what it looks like. Keeping in mind, like, this is our brand here, and you don't want someone else showing up in front of your product. So to do this, we bid on your own product and your own keywords. So you can do this in two different aspects. Product targeting within sponsored product campaigns, or you can do sponsored product exact targeting against your own branded keyword. So our approach to advertising really is being as aligned as possible with your business, and that's the way we can grow together. Whether it's for profitability, for sales growth, or anything like that, we're always your kind of main partner in that respect, and we are your business consultant. So essentially, if you don't know how to increase your spend or things like that based on your inventory, we help guide you through that process. And that's how we're able to grow your business over time, by being as aligned as possible. And then with our tools, we're able to create a lot more opportunities for your business. Like Bab said, our founders are all from MIT, and they were able to build a really powerful tool that deals with inventory forecasting and ads management. So we like to use the example where, you know, a plane actually has a lot of automations and technology in it, but it can't necessarily be flown on its own. So that's why we have an account manager like myself, who's very experienced with Amazon, to kind of guide that very powerful tool that Mayan created. And with that being said, I highly recommend, again, to kind of prepare for the Prime Day that's coming up, because time does fly by quick and we'll be there before you know it. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to Rachel here.
Okay, hopefully everything is working. So, all right, looks like all the buttons are working. Transition worked fine. Thank you, Philip. So one of the things that I hear a lot from prospects, from people I talk to at shows, from fellow sellers in the business, and I'm also a seller on Amazon, is that their ads suck. This is a really common piece of feedback that I hear, where people are saying, yeah, I tried this company and I tried that and I tried this and I hired a person, but my ads just suck and I'm just not sure what I'm doing wrong. And if I take a look at their pages or if I take a look at their ad console, often their ads are not the problem, their content is the problem. And so when the ads are driving traffic to their page or they're getting a lot of clicks and engagement, they're just not getting the follow through from their page that they need to. And so what I do is take a look at what are all the buttons and levers that can help you get the most out of your ads. So you can have a fantastic company like Mayan doing your ads, getting great click-through rates, getting fantastic targeting, really being the product that people want to click on. But then you've got to follow through with the page. The page has to then close the deal. So when we're thinking about planning for Q4, it shouldn't just be about, okay, what kind of discounts are we going to offer? What are we going to target? It should also be, and then when they land on the page, does the offer that I'm making resonate with that customer? When they land on the page, is the price point that they clicked at, is that price point reflected on the page? Whether it's a low-cost product and you have certain elements of the page that reflect that, or whether it's a premium product, does the page reflect the premium nature of the brand? When you're prepping for Q4 for content, you really want to get pretty much most of your prep work done, as in listing out what you need to get done, which pages you want to update, whether you want to update your brand stories or you want to add new landing pages to your storefront, whatever the case may be. Make sure you have that list complete in September and make sure that pretty much 80% or so of the execution is done by October, and the vast majority, close to 100% or 100% of your content marketing work should be done by November 15th. And this is assuming Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Fall preview is a good time to kind of kick off the holiday season. I did see that Amazon is just in their publications and various folks who have posted on LinkedIn, they're definitely trying to temper expectations for a fall preview. They don't want people to think that fall preview is the same as Prime Day or is it going to be the same as Black Friday. So I've been finding the way that they've been describing it a little entertaining. They really want you to think of this as a special sales day that kicks off the holiday season, but that you shouldn't have too high of expectations. So it has been fun seeing how they talk about that. And it can be really helpful to see how things work, which level of discount you're looking for, what kind of offers are working, what kind of ads or videos are going to get you the engagement. The kind of traffic that you see around fall preview is going to help you prepare and have an even better Black Friday or Cyber Monday weekend than you otherwise would have without that input and testing period that you get with fall preview. Another reason why I recommend that folks do the prep now for content and get everything launched by the 15th is that Amazon reverts content, they take items down, they have algorithm changes, they have log jams that receive. So many things can happen. They do have a blackout for new developer launches in November, December, but there are what are called, well, for us, they were called white days, where they could push certain content changes, and some of those break things. So my favorite was one where we had gotten an entire new photo shoot done for a client, uploaded everything, uploaded the SEO-enabled content, and then everything reverted to basically October content on Thanksgiving. And so after having pie on Thanksgiving Day, I sat down and re-uploaded everything, which was not my favorite thing to do ever. But having everything prepared and ready to go is going to make this a lot easier. So one of the things that I like to remind folks of is that Amazon is a machine. On whether it's the vendor side or the seller side, it's just different inputs that result in the output that you want. So understanding how the AI system works and using it to your advantage is the most valuable takeaway that you can have from this, that all of this is simply machine learning and you need to plug in the right inputs to the system to get the output that you want out. So when you're trying to decide which keywords you want to do well on, you need to select those way ahead of time and based on actual performance. I've worked with folks before where they're like, well, I really want to win on this particular keyword. Like, awesome, but you don't win on it right now and you don't get good conversion on it right now. So unless you do a wholesale change of your page marketing, you get some different reviews in, then it's going to be pretty challenging to do well on a keyword that you're not already doing well on. So select your target keywords well ahead of time based on actual performance data. If you're doing a launch, then be pretty broad with your approach. Cast a wide net, use this time to figure out what works. The traffic is amazing in Q4. Use that time to learn. Understand how Amazon search determines relevancy and how Amazon advertising determines relevance. They're not the same. So Amazon search determines relevance primarily by conversion rate. So the main reason why is because the system is geared towards whether or not it gets its 15% or whatever the percentage is for your particular category and your price point. And so the system is completely geared towards what's going to sell. If I direct the customer who's coming in with this search term, with this profile to this product, am I most likely to get that commission? That's what the AI is looking for. So when you're thinking about search relevancy and you're trying to gain rank, say, on an organic keyword, you want to be thinking about the keyword that is most effective for you organically in actual search results, as opposed to Amazon search relevancy versus advertising search relevancy, which is a lot more about click-through rates. So advertising is much more, whether you're working with Amazon ads execs or the system, whatever, it's very focused on engagement rates and how people are interacting with the ad, as opposed to whether or not they check out. So the system for search is based on, do I get a commission? And the system for ads is based on, do I get a click? Because Amazon systems are all focused around, how do I get money? And so you as the seller need to be thinking about, how do I get money? If you want to rank up on specific keywords, you need to be thinking about, how am I converting for those keywords? And if you want to get more impressions and more engagement and more awareness, you want to be thinking about how much you're clicking and how much you're bidding for a click. How many clicks are you getting? What's your click-through rate? Because that's how the ad side of things prioritizes who gets what spot in in your search share impression share, your search share impression rank. That's based on what Amazon Ads perceives as your engagement level. So understanding that difference and making sure that whatever you use ads for to get organic rank, that you're matching what organic search is looking for versus what Amazon Ads is looking for. If you feed the system what it wants for food, you will achieve the sales you're looking for. But you do need to be thinking about conversion versus engagement and which one is going to get you to the result that you're looking for. So to summarize for Amazon AI, what the Amazon search algorithm is looking for is it's not returning results by potential relevance like Google, like what's going to be the most relevant clickable link. And it's not looking for engagement. That Amazon Ads is looking for engagement, but the search algorithm is looking for conversion, what's going to get the commission. So you can drive traffic on Amazon. That's what we've been mostly talking about here. You can also drive traffic off Amazon, but you do need to be careful, because if you drive too much off Amazon traffic to your detail page, it can therefore decrease your conversion rate and cause you problems with your organic search ranking, and then make it less likely to be shown to your customers. So what your goal is to make sure that when people land on the page, they review the page, they look at the page, and they're so excited, they immediately click add to cart if they're the right customer. And if they're the wrong customer, you want them to hit back, because the other pieces that are put into the determination of whether or not the listing is a good listing to send traffic to is how high the return rate is. Amazon does not like returns. The system is not happy when there are lots of returns. So you want to make sure that you repel the wrong customer and attract the right customer. One really great way of increasing your conversion rate artificially, increasing your average order value, and helping the overall numbers on your page is to offer promotions and discounts that are appropriate for the product. So for example, if you buy 3, then you get a certain percentage off, or have virtual bundles on the page. One of the first things that I do with clients is look at their pricing. A lot of private label sellers, not so much manufacturers understand how this works, but a lot of private label sellers price to where their price is what they need to be profitable. And you should definitely not be thinking that way. You want to make sure to include your advertising, your promotional costs into your list price so that when you do your discounts, you still make a healthy margin. So whenever we're talking about discounts, or we're talking about sales, whatever, you should always be thinking about that. It is challenging to compete with the Chinese brands that don't have to do that. A lot of times they're operating on very slim margins, which a lot of us who are importing can't afford to do. So that makes the content on the page, making sure that things are spelled right, that there's no weird punctuation, that it looks like a high-end premium brand, is even more important. So if you're trying to grow traffic for Q4, select your target keywords, place them in prominent positions in your titles, bullets, and A+, and then set up your advertising to rank. Number 2 is one that I think a lot of folks miss. There is some debate as to how important this is, but there's some pedagogical theory around how often someone has to see an idea or a concept or have it presented to them before it actually sticks in their brain. And the average amount of time before someone really understands what you're trying to tell them in a teaching sense is 7 times. So when you're thinking about how often you need to repeat yourself on a page to get someone to see it, not to mention the times where people are just scrolling and they're not actually looking at everything on your page anyway, you want to be repeating the main keywords that you're trying to rank for over and over on your page in captions and text. And you really, really want customers to repeat it too. So hopefully they do. And when that happens, then when the customer types in the search term, they click on your ad, then they see the search term that they typed in over and over again on your page, then it makes them feel like the product is most relevant. So if you're trying to rank for a specific keyword, this is different than focusing on ROI. ROI is all about getting a particular ROAS or ACOS and making sure that your bids are at a particular price to where you get a positive result from advertising. If you're talking about ranking for Q4, you're trying to get to a particular spot on a page. The best approach to do that is using the Search Career Performance dashboard. Philip showed you the Brand Analytics page. It's part of the Brand Analytics tab. And combine that with your third-party keyword validation tool of choice. I personally use Helium 10, but Jungle Scout is good. There's other options out there as well. And find keywords where you have a better than your ASIN average conversion rate. And what you can estimate is your competitor conversion rate. Then use the Search Query Performance dashboard to evaluate the number of impressions and clicks for those top items on your target list. You can go to the ASIN view and then click on the keyword, and that'll tell you the top 10 for that particular ASIN on Amazon. And then you can get the estimated number of sales from your keyword validation tool. At that point, you know exactly how many impressions, clicks, and sales you need to achieve for that particular keyword to achieve specific rank level on the Amazon search results. So you target your ad based on the number of impressions and clicks, plus a target number of sales per week, and do not worry about ROAS. That's not the point. So the rules for trying to rank using an ad versus trying to get good ROI are very different. And the way that you are successful with rank is making sure that your page reflects everything that you're trying to get from that consumer. So this is one of my favorite things that I got working at Amazon. And I know we barely got anything for free. They were very frugal. It's the best way to put it. Was this little lanyard and working backwards card that I got. And this is my 5-year badge. You can tell it's the old badge, big wide ones. The new ones are skinny and thicker and they're fancy and stuff. And only at a company like Amazon would they give out a bunch of lanyards to people that say 100% peculiar and have like a little creature that they called Pecky because it's peculiar. And Amazon was very focused on being different. That was very true. So this particular list is how we were supposed to approach any new projects, any new product launch, basically anything that we were doing. We were supposed to be thinking of this concept of working backwards. And working backwards is who is the customer? What is the problem or opportunity? Is the most important benefit clear? Does a customer testimonial reinforce the value? And can you visualize the experience? And we were supposed to be writing press releases on this for software. We were supposed to be thinking about this for detail page site merchandising, new product development. This was the concept for everything. And so they gave us little laminated cards that we were supposed to take out of our lanyard. And it actually is a very helpful way of thinking about your detail page. When you're looking at the detail page, is it clear who the customer is? A lot of times people get distracted about who their customer is. They want to be everything to everyone. But generally speaking, if you have a really solid marketing message towards your primary customer, your secondary customer will also buy, but your primary customer will buy at higher rates. And so it's worth targeting that primary customer specifically and not trying to be everything to everyone on your page. And going through this list and really thinking about it from a customer perspective, it can be really hard to do when it's your baby and you've been working on it and it's your content that you've built. But if you're not looking at this from a really logical, clinical way, it's going to be really easy to think that you've got a great page and then customers land on it and they're like, next. And that's obviously the opposite of what you're looking for. The items that are on the page, most folks are pretty familiar with the image carousel, the content copy, and the A+. But a lot of folks don't think about the benefit to the page from Q&A or from the product documents on top of the other elements of the page. So having all the pieces that work together to help the customer understand what the benefits of the product are, how the product is going to change their life. Think about how you can put all of these things together. In one instance, we had a product installation video for a page, and people were just not watching it, and they kept leaving negative reviews because they couldn't figure out how to install the product. So we actually changed the A+ to where the top widget, the biggest thing at the very top, said, product installation made easy, exclamation point, watch the video below. So we made it really obvious there's a video, go watch it. And it significantly decreased our return rate and our negative reviews over the following 6 to 8 weeks. So taking the time to think about how to coordinate between things, we also included the product documents. We had the installation guide in there, using every part of the page to help the customer make the right decision. If they're the right customer, we want them to add to cart. If they're the wrong customer, we want them to go away. And then you also may realize to yourself, okay, so I don't have time to do content changes for all of my stuff, which is absolutely fair. So what are some changes that you can make to increase your conversion and to maximize your advertising value without making any page changes? The first thing is that you can swap some of the money over to your storefront. If the customer clicks on add to cart from the store, which necessitates you having an add to cart button on your store. Don't just use the widgets that Amazon puts in the templates. Make sure to use product grids or product widgets that are full width. If the customer clicks on add to cart from the store and never hits your detail page at all, it artificially increases the detail page conversion rate. So especially if you're doing a launch on something like really competitive, like electronics or skincare or supplements, you want to drive traffic to the store and also add BOGOs when you're launching, because that artificially increases the conversion rate and you can start to compete with the other folks on the page. You can also increase the AOV, or the average order value, through cross promotions and upsells. These can be easily created through virtual bundles, buy one, get one promotions, and add-on features. Not everyone has the add-on feature, but virtual bundles are available to anyone who's got a brand, as well as BOGO promotions for anyone who's on Amazon at all. And buy one, get one, a lot of people think it means buy one, get one free. That's not the case. So if you're launching a new product and you've got a top seller, what you can do is you can do a buy one, get one. If they're on the top seller, they can buy one, get one and get the new launch item 50% off or something like that. And then run deals. And I know it can be frustrating sometimes to think, okay, I've got to run deals all the time to get these people interested. Yeah, kind of, you do. So using Prime exclusive deals and brand tailored promotions, those seem to be working pretty well, especially during deal events. And you can also, think about how you're going to run them. So if you run them at random intervals, people don't see them very often from you. They're not used to seeing a discount all the time. That can also drive urgency. One thing that I also like to point out here is doing an Amazon Live, having the brand run the Amazon Live. It runs on your storefront at the very top. It's a widget that takes over at the very top of your store. So when they click on your store, the first thing they see is the live. And as long as you have a product that's on a deal, and you have that as the first item or one of the top items in your product widget, that's the first thing they see when you land on the store. So one of the things I like to do is run lives on lightning deal days for the brands I work with. And when people click on their store and engage with their store, which you get a lot of organic traffic, and if you're doing paid traffic, I do recommend that. The first thing they see is they land on it, they see a product demonstration, and then they see like a lightning deal, 38% off or 25% off, or a prime exclusive deal, 15% off. And that's the first thing they see when you land on the store. And so that can really help with driving conversion. Even if you do nothing else, you can always get people to get excited about a good deal. And if you're looking for a guide on what to plan for and when, we have a free planning timeline where you can see this is set up as catalog, pricing, advertising. I have it set up based on the drop-down menus in Seller Central because it's way easier to manage when you're trying to get people to follow, like, okay, now go to the catalog tab. And when to get certain things done, when to start, when to finish. And if you are interested in that, then please contact us at info@azamabrands.com.
All right, looks like it's my turn. So hello, everybody. For those who are unfamiliar with me, my name is Chris Weissman. I'm the general manager here at Seller Rocket. And so for those who are a little unfamiliar with Seller Rocket, let me make sure things work here correctly. And there we go. Basically, Seller Rocket is PR for e-commerce. We were established back in 2019. Our company leadership founded major publication companies that excelled in affiliate content. When it comes to Amazon Associates, we were actually part of the on-site associates program, which unfortunately did end this past April. So many of you probably noticed that change when you search on Amazon and no longer editorial recommendations. But through that time, we established a lot of connections with some major publications over the years, and actually have completely pivoted over to native publisher content. And throughout our journey, we've helped over 4,000 brands drive over $100 million in GMV through our publications content. So first, let's start off. What is native publisher content? This is simply if somebody is going on their shopping journey, they go to a search engine such as Google, or some people still use Yahoo, and it's still very relevant, and they come across of different web pages or URLs that showcase commerce content. You can simply shop best hair dryer, best curling iron, you name it. There is commerce content from major publications out there. And what this is meant to do is target more of a different level in the funnel system for a consumer. So everybody who immediately goes to Amazon or Walmart or whatever retail platform, they're what we call in the bottom funnel of the marketing journey. They're on the retail platform. Their intent is to buy. This content is more to focus on mid to upper funnel consumers who are starting the research journey. Actually, studies show that over 60% of people, if they're unfamiliar with the product, they start looking at publications to do the research to understand the product better and kind of cross-compare there. Major advantages to this content is hyper-focused on conversion. So if somebody does actually go to the product display page, the chances of conversion are a little bit higher if it comes through this avenue, just because they've done a little more research and have a much higher intent to actually validate that purchase there. So it does help boost organic rank in that kind of case. Now, when it comes to the holiday season, just like spending habits for consumers pick up, overall site traffic picks up as well. Over 40% increases in consumer site traffic to publisher websites in Q4 alone. The largest categories for these search increases are home goods, electronics, toys, and apparel, the typical holiday season shopping. Now, one thing to focus on is all these publications are looking for great deals. Everybody thinks usually big publications like Forbes, Business Insider, Good Housekeeping don't discount local news outlets. I can guarantee you, if you have a local news outlet, they're in commerce content because they get Amazon associate commissions. It is another revenue stream for them. In fact, if they're driving $1 million a month in revenue to Amazon, they get 8% kickback of that, which if you do the math, it's $80,000. That is not chump change there for these news outlets. So all of them are in commerce content, especially around things like Prime Day 2 coming around, in the holiday seasons. If someone goes to the main homepage, as you can see here, the Charlotte Observer, they usually have like a little shopping widget to drive people to their commerce content. So, and I guarantee you can go on Google and search best garlic press, best curling iron. You may see some of the major publications first, but then right below that, you'll see some Salt Lake Tribune or some other local publication featured in that commerce content as well. Another piece is a lot of these local news outlets have learned to capture those impulse buys. So even though someone may come across the typical review guide, as this would be called, in their research journey, if there is a big holiday season or a big buy or something along those lines, they will kind of showcase it in a little widget to capitalize on those impulses for the typical consumer. Here's just a couple other examples as well as we prepare for these holiday seasons and going on there. Now, what do publishers look for? Well, first, let's backtrack there. How do you get in contact with a publication? So the easiest, simple thing to do is research your own product. Go to Google, type in best whatever your product is, and then you'll see different content showing up in the Google search. And click on some of them. Every single one of those has an editor or an author, and most of the time you click into it, it's got their email contact information. Now, a lot of these people get a lot of emails on a regular basis when you get picked up and featured. So here's a couple things that are going to stand out to either the writer or the editor to potentially pick up your product and include in their content. One, heavy discounts, minimum 20%. The more, the better. Now, I know sometimes may not be within your profit margin. So if that is the case, focus on single day, holiday specific sales. Or if you're doing an inventory push, you got a new model coming out, so you're running, running low on inventory for the previous year's model. Highlight that feature to them. Trending, seasonality. It seems like a celebrity picks up a new water bottle every other month. And so if there's anything exploding on being on social media, highlight that to them. As well as showcase 2 to 3 features that stand out amongst your competitors. Amazon is very, very crowded, as well as I believe the set is 50 to 60% of sellers on Amazon are based in China. There's a ton of competition. And so highlight those 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 features that really stand out amongst them of why maybe the price point is what it is, or what people are really saying about your product itself. And so those are just a couple tips to get picked up and focus on strategizing with publications. You got to start now. Obviously, we got Prime Day number 2, big Prime deals, I think is what it's going to be called this October. So start reaching out. Let them know maybe potential discounts you're focusing on. A lot of times they'll have these publications or these URLs already created, and they just wait to launch it right before the holiday season, just to make sure one, discounts are in place, but also they make sure they're not going to get enough bounce rates or anything like that to make sure its SEO strategy is completely built there. So start reaching out, establishing connections. And also, a lot of times too, sometimes these writers work for multiple publications, and so if they may not pick up at one publication, they may work with another one if they're a freelance writer. Just a little promotion too. If you do mention this holiday webinar and you contact us at Seller Rock, if you decide to enroll with our offsite services, we will and be able to get you featured in a publication. We can also get that publication to do a single product review at no cost to you.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you, Rachel, as well, and Phil. That was very, very insightful. I'm sure our audience took away some great insights from your conversation and your presentations. So we can now open it up to question in case our audience has any questions that they'd like to get answered by you guys. And while they pour in, or in case they don't, we can, I'll talk a bit about our audit deck right now. So our free audit basically helps you, or what we do is we take a look at your Amazon Seller Central account and we analyze your campaign strategy, your advertising performance, analytics, and your keywords. And what we provide is basically a 20+ page report of holistic advertising strategies and tactics that are specific to your brand and your products. And our audit is proven to drastically scale your revenue. So in many cases, we are able to do all of this within the same budget that you have, or even with a reduced budget right now. And we know that your main priority, or one of the biggest concerns that you have as an Amazon seller, is the privacy of your data. So we can guarantee that you can rest assured that your data remains confidential and no information will be stored with us. We simply analyze your data to identify areas of growth and opportunities of growth as well. And you'll be able to work with our team. So if you're interested in claiming your free advertising audit, you can claim it on our screen or in the little box that you'll see in the console. I think our audience has no questions, so thank you everyone for your time. We hope this webinar was helpful to you, and we wish you a very successful Q4. And stay in touch in case you want to help or you want Mayan to help with your Amazon business. Thanks, everyone.